Hello, apps here from Dimp Digital. Welcome to Idle Game Chat. This is the weekly video games podcast where we give our impressions of the games that you can play today and react to the latest news from the wonderful world of video games. We're here every Monday on your favourite podcast app and YouTube, absolutely free. This week, I am joined once again by the three-time Dimp Digital Gaming Quiz champion. It's Tom Adkins, not Adcock. How's it going?
Bloody good, actually.
Good.
Again, fresh, alcohol-free. This is the fourth weekend in a row that I've not touched a drop of the deadly stuff.
Is that actually true?
It is actually true. It is actually true. I've not been out on the piss for
That's
4
why you've been
weeks.
so miserable in these WhatsApp groups. Not enough booze.
No booze in the life. So, yeah, it's been miserable. But I have had a week of insanely good gaming that we will discuss probably on another pod, maybe.
My view is I'm going to let it decompress for 6 months just to see whether these early opinions that you've got are warranted. And we'll keep it under our hats as to what game that is. But it's looking like a good one. I'll have to have a little sniff myself at some point. But I've just been...
Destiny 2, back. I spoiled it.
Absolutely. We've got a gaming hype list update this episode. So this will be the last one for 2020. And then we'll be back early 2021. We've got the Game Awards happening in December as well, which usually yields some more updates. So that will help us there. Go on.
They're not really huge games that come out of that, to be honest, is there? I was looking at the last couple of years. Obviously, the Xbox Series X announcement was a big thing last year, but when I was looking at the games, there's not huge amounts of big games.
No, but there are a lot of games that perhaps we've binned off the list that we haven't had updates on that might be resurrected. I think what's happened is early on we put a load of games on and then updates failed to come in, updates for other games arrived and they got knocked off. So it could be something like that. I mean, there's rumours, and we'll caveat this at the start of the episode, that there could be a little known update coming tomorrow about Fable. Now, obviously this is going to be published on Monday. So today, for those of you listening, if you're listening day one, we could already have a Fable update, which means... that's spoiler alert. That's not going to make the list today because we haven't seen anything since. Well, it feels like 2 years ago. Well, it wasn't this E3. It was last E3, wasn't it? It was a fucking screen, pretty much. So there might be an update by the time you listen to this. In which case, we may do a few on-the-fly adjustments, but we'll just have to take every little piece and nook and cranny as and when they come. But before we get into the list, we're going to try it again and dive into this bloody game jar of, what's it called? News. A few items just to chat about, just to get us warmed up. So, picked a few. I thought I'd kick things off with Nintendo. Since Salmon loves them and he don't like us talking about them badly, just thought I'd present the facts of what they're in the news for this week, and then people can make their own minds up as to whether
your own decisions
at the end of the day. If you want to pay through the nose for certain things, and you can, there's a place for that. And Jim's got you covered as well when it comes to £70 games. So let's not forget about him. Anyway, this is from Eurogame in the headline. Nintendo Switch Online's premium tier service launches this month. It costs £35 UK. They didn't put that in, I'll put that in. And a year includes N64 and Mega Drive games plus Animal Crossing expansion. So that's what we've been given as a headline. The details underneath and in many of the articles that you'll read across the web have the following. 26th of October is the release date. So that's when the expansion pack will go live, as it's called. The current price for Nintendo Switch Online, so the basic tier, I guess is what it's known as now, is £18 UK, $20 in the old Yankadoodle time. So this is an upgrade on that. Basic tier gives you multiplayer, the SNES and NES games, and the cloud save. So that's not changing. They'll still be there if you stay on just old fucking shit now, I guess is what we're going to be calling that. And the new additions for the expansion pass are the N64 games, the Mega Drive games, we'll go through the list in a moment, and the Animal Crossing New Horizons expansion, Happy Home Paradise, which releases November the 5th and is being charged at £22.50 UK pounds if you want to get involved in that separately, or $25. Nintendo have said there will be a pro-rated discount applied automatically when upgrading to the expansion pack, from the basic tier, based on the number of days remaining on the current membership, but hasn't elaborated any further. So we don't really know how much it's going to cost most of us who are probably mid-membership at the moment. We've probably got between half a year. Some people might have stacked for 3 years because it's been pretty cheap. Like I saw it on CD Keys this week for $12.99. So, I mean, that's a bargain to be had. Some people may have stacked. So we don't know what this is actually going to cost you. But if you're coming out of the bins and got nothing, £35 for the year. The N64 launch lineup is Super Mario 64, Ocarina of Time, Mario Kart, Lilac Wars, Sin and Punishment, Dr. Mario 64, Mario Tennis 64, Operation Winback, Yoshi's Story. And we've got some Mega Drive games, which is Sonic the Hedgehog 2, Streets of Rage 2, Echo the Dolphin, Castlevania Blood. I mean, already this is a better lineup for the N64, which I know will annoy people, but those kind of four there, arguably better. Contra Hard Corps, Dr. Robotnik's Mean Bean Machine, Golden Axe, Gunstar Heroes, Musha, Fantasy Star 4, Ristar, not heard of that one. Shining Force, Shinobi 3, Return of the Ninja Master, and Strider. We've got upcoming titles which are going to be released in the near future, and probably more than this, but this is what they've listed. Banjo-Kazooie, Pokemon Snap, Majora's Mask, Kirby 64, Mario Golf, Paper Mario, and F-Zero X. So that's the download of information that we've been provided via Nintendo. Before we start this, because all the people are talking about is this worth it? It's all people are saying. They ain't even looked at the content. Is this worth it? It's all about value. We was actually having this conversation earlier in a WhatsApp group, and it unravelled a bit. Salmon getting annoyed,
getting tickled.
In order to, my view is that value of anything is more subjective than most of the things we talk about, even when we talk about a game. Like, there's a few things in a game that you can measure pretty consistently. Like, is it stable? You know, is the frame rate nice and smooth, etc. There's a few technological things that if they hit, you can all sit there and go, yep, yeah, it's running smooth, ain't crashing. On the other hand, if it is crashing and running like shit, you'll all sit there and go, yeah, that's shit. The word value is just a real disaster, because I could hold up a £5 note, get 100 people in a room and set fire to it. And I reckon they'd all have a different reaction as to what that would mean. Some people will shrug their shoulders and say, it's a fiver, it don't matter. Other people say, well, it's not a lot, but you shouldn't be doing that because money's precious, blah, blah, blah. And there'll be those people saying, I can't even have a fucking pot to piss in. You've just flushed away a kid's dinner, or a double quarter pounder, as we know is the king for McDonald's. So all I see about the conversation around this expansion pack is it worth it and what's the value? And I don't know how to answer that, because my value will be different to yours, your value will be different to mine, and those who are listening will all have different ideas over what the value of this is. We can only speak from a personal perspective. So from the Tom Adkins clean as a whistle, 4 weeks, no booze, does this represent a worthwhile piece of value to you? Bearing in mind that you're already a subbed up member of it, so it's probably going to be a little smaller increase.
Yeah, it's a little thing. Well, this has got to be one of the only times where us blighty boys from the UK aren't getting fucking stung on that conversion rate. Because normally these sort of things, it'd be like the Yanks, it's gone from 30, is it 35 or 30 for their thing, now up to 50. $50 it's for them boys. You know, it fits that feels like a big. Is it 25?
I think it's 20. I think it's doubled. Yeah, so it's 25 to 50. I'll double check the exact.
Yeah, it's double. I got a feeling it was $20.
It might be 20 actually.
No, it's because I think it's double and a half again, because they're really pissed off, and I'm like, oh, cool. But yeah, I suppose it's almost double for us, because like you say, you can get it for £13 or whatever. Yeah, personally for me, it probably will be all right value because of that DLC. Not that I'm massively hyped for it, but it might get me playing Animal Crossing again. But yeah, it is a weird pricing
$20
structure, I
they're saying here.
suppose. $20. So they've gone from 20 to 50, which, that is a hell of a thing. And we're going from 18 to 30. So we've definitely been. So old Bowser's gone, yeah, them old UK boys.
They're already getting tucked up.
Yeah.
Let's not tuck them
But
up even further.
I saw a video and some bloke was sort of comparing about like what it would be, how much it would cost to go and get an N64 and play Ocarina of Time.
Yeah.
And like just for that sort of money, you're already covered anyway. So
and you got to play it on that awful controller that we know about.
Yeah, exactly. That's already sold out, isn't it?
Oh yeah, the replica of that, and that went within 4 minutes. So if you want to play the N64 games as they were intended back in the day, time to bust out the N64 or your emulators and do that, because those controllers won't be back for a while. We had this same thing when the SNES controller come out.
Yeah. But no, I mean, I probably will get this just for the fun of it. But I've only tickled a few of the NES and SNES games. So value, yeah, it's probably not great value for me, but it is because I probably won't buy that DLC. I would get that included. What is concerned is how inconsistent they are with their information. Like, they don't seem to have a structure of releasing games. Like, even with that SNES and NES games, they just drip feed. Like, at the beginning, there was some decent ones being had. Now, I couldn't even tell you when the last games were announced or released. They just sort of go, "Oh yeah, here's 4 shitters.
Yeah.
Deal with that." So at least they've said that more N64 games are coming. But what else? Are we going to be getting them monthly? How long are they going to stay on?
Yeah.
DLC wise as well, is this just a one-off thing? Are we getting more Will there be another expansion pass added after this is all done and dusted?
Yeah, that's the key things. I mean, the games itself we kind of got a flavour of, and not quite the same, but both of like Gold and PlayStation Plus. You earn the games per month, and you add them to your library. This comes with a back catalogue of things that you can dip in and out of, and like those, if you stop subscribing, you lose access to them, which is fair enough. But the key thing is that there's no sort of new modern games included with this, but it looks, well, we know there's the Animal Crossing expansion pass. If you buy this pack, that will be included. Now, what I don't know happens if after a year we bin the DLC, we bin the expansion pack, do we lose access to that DLC? Because something like Animal Crossing, I feel like you can take items back and forth. Like, it feels like there's going to be a little bit of overlap. I mean, we'll talk about a little bit about the past in a minute, or the new bit of content they're adding. But like, is that what's going to happen? Because you can only buy this expansion pack for the online service at a year's cost. You can't buy it per month. You can't do a 3 month. You can't do a 90-day. So it makes me wonder whether the reason they've done that is so that you pay up at least once to cover the cost of the expansion, like the Happy Home Paradise.
Yeah.
And then if you do bin it after a year, you just keep it, because it's not quite clear what happens if you decide to pack up. But
that's interesting.
I mean, and the only thing about this is it's a little bit of like, yes, you've got the back catalogue of games there, but are we going to see more games that have got DLC that are going to be added to this service? And then at that point, it's kind of like, okay, we're now reliant on it being a game we've got or we're going to get, and it being something of interest. It's sort of like it's all a bit of a promise.
Yeah, it's weird. And the thing is, like, this games, I get it, but if you're trying to raise your pricing to the similar sort of thing of Gold and PS Plus, let's start with the fucking online structure first. We've got no voice chat, no party system. Get the fucking basics in, Bowser, first, and then we'll think about the game, shall we? But I don't know. Yeah, like I say, I think us UK boys are getting a bit of bang for our buck here compared to the Yanks. But yes, if you don't play, Animal Crossing and that DLC ain't, so you're then paying £35 to play them 8 games or whatever it was. Like you say, value is very subjective, isn't it? And different people's views. So
yeah, it's a tough one. I think for me personally, I don't know if it's just access to those games and it was just that, I wouldn't even be popular. I'm not gonna. I don't need to play Ocarina of Time again. I'm not going to play Mario Kart 64 when I've got 8 Deluxe sitting here. And I've got Super Mario 64 on that fucking All-Star pack that they sold to me and then took away and said, right, you got one more day to get it. And that was it. And then anything else on there, like Streets of Rage 2, I've already got access through Xbox on one of the you know legacy pack support for that. Same with Sonic, same with Echo. I mean, Bloodlines of Castlevania might be nice, but the games alone probably wouldn't be enough for me. But there is this little dangling carrot about Animal Crossing, New Horizons, Happy Home Paradise. Lapper is asking in the chat, what about, has GoldenEye been mentioned? It hasn't, so that's not mentioned.
Hasn't, no. I wonder if that's a license thing, because...
Could be, yeah.
Rare did that, didn't they?
They did. Yeah, it's a bit of a... I mean, like I've said many times, that'll be a struggle for people to go back and play that on 10 frames per second. But if people want to do it, more power to them. So it's a bit of a strange one. Again, Nintendo doing their own thing and coming up with different ideas. It's not. I don't think it's a terrible idea to have DLC.
For someone like Lapper, who's looking for games for young Owen, you know, get him on the N64 hype train. There might be a bit of value there. Animal Crossing's another good one for the youngsters, but for us hardcore gamers,
a lot to be desired. Well, so what's are you going to get it day one or not? What's the?
I probably would. No, what's it for? I'll certainly see. The thing I don't want to do is go gunning in, and then 2 weeks down the line is sitting on fucking CD keys for 20 quid.
Oh yeah, it will be. It will be.
And I probably won't even play it in that time. Like so, I've got like yourself, got games on things. Nothing really there that's going to grab me up. Probably jump in and play some of them for 10 minutes or whatever and go, oh yes, it's the same. Tell you what, the trouble is, I saw these OLED fuckers on this OLED Switch. That burning is when the static image.
They've got that fucking what's name, haven't they? Got that border around it.
That border just stays there. So if you're playing that for hours, burning job centre. So yeah, don't know what's happening there. Fucking another Nintendo fun my past, but yeah, I'm not sure. It depends. If I'll probably end up getting suckered up in the hype of Animal Crossing, even though I feel that my time's done with that game. There's only so much you can do.
I agree.
I don't think the glory days of us fucking turnip
trading,
turnip hunting, me, you and Hall and fucking thing. That I think that was done and buried.
It's going to be 2 years old soon, like in 6 months.
I was amazed to see that they already announced. Oh, I'll discuss this in a minute, but they already put the fucking bed in it. Went, that's the last update. Ta-ta.
Yeah. Well, let's move straight into the Animal Crossing expansion pass, or whatever they're going to call it. It's called Happy Home Paradise. There's also a free update coming, and all of this is coming, I think, 5th of November. So there's the timeline for people. So the free update, like you mentioned, is the last free update they're doing. So that's it. They've done plenty throughout the sort of 18 months that it's been out. And that's bringing like an outside storage shed thing, which people who haven't played it are thinking, what are you talking about? Well, there's loads of items you pick up in this game, and to store them, you have to walk in your fucking house each time. Which a quick fade to black and a quick unfade, and drop it in your house. So it was a bit of an upheaval doing that. Now there's a little shed outside, you bung it in there, put a padlock on it, I guess, so those little cunts don't nick anything whilst you're not on the island, and then you're away. So that's a nice little quality of life. There's some recipes for cooking food and new items and new customization. It's all the standard bits and pieces they've added. But the main thing that they were focusing on is this Happy Home Paradise. And it looks like, when you break it down, we're going to be paying through the nose, either through the expansion pack or separately, to go to work. They're going to make us pay to have the opportunity to work in Animal Crossing.
Tom Nook is absolute the fucking corporate scum.
Honestly, he's the real Alan of this. He's fucking making hand over fist, this cunt. He must be an advisor. But the DLC, or the expansion, whatever you want to call it, challenges players to build like dream vacation homes or holiday homes for different characters. So you go to this like holiday fucking paradise place.
Resort.
That's it. There's different characters that want, I want a specific type of house with these decorations, blah blah blah. So you choose, the island you want to put them on. You can change the weather and you can decorate inside the home with those items and other bits. You can add your personal flair to it. You can put trees and gates up. Basically, you're making a nice little area for these guys to go and holiday on. And there's tons of like new stuff in there, stuff that they haven't had before. Even things like you can add like wall partitions that haven't been available. So you can kind of separate the rooms up and make them look nice. And there's all sorts of bits and pieces. The look and sort of the main detail is that you're going to be working for whoever these fucks are on this island, making holiday homes for people. So you're going to have set requirements and whatnot. Now, I can't even get my own island in order. But I haven't finished doing what I wanted to do. No, I haven't. I haven't even got my
leveled it.
I leveled the whole lot and then haven't gone back and finished it. So, I mean, the thought of having to go to another set of islands and work for these fucking crooks is daunting. I haven't really got the flair, the sort of creativity to make something worthwhile. I never finished doing a bit of decorating Animal Crossing and thought, yeah, that looked the tits. It was just always a little bit too awkward for me. And I didn't have the sort of mental capacity to sit there and make it look well. But, I mean, does any of this tempt you back to the crookery of Tom Nook? Or is it you have a lot of creativity to get the most out of this. Which is fair for most of the Animal Crossing content, really.
It's fine. I mean, like, I was expecting bigger things, to be honest. Like when I was watching a YouTuber and he was sort of trying to predict what they'd announce, and
the fact they gave it its own direct, I was like, cool.
I was expecting more. The big thing I was expecting, which they haven't, they've been off, was I thought they were going to give the ability to have a second island, or even for another account, but it's literally one island per Switch.
Yeah. Yes.
So I thought that might have been changed, but yeah, it's more like the thing with Animal Crossing is I felt it was great, but it just became so limited because you get these things like, and one of the big things in this new update is that there's now going to be a coffee shop. I think, all right, cool, there's a coffee shop, great. So what can you do? And they go, well, you go and sit in it and have coffee. So I'll just walk in and sit in the chair and that's it. And go, yeah, we can have a cup of coffee. Yeah, all right, we'll pick a cup of coffee up and go, what else it do? Oh, that's it. So I'm like, right.
Tomatoes.
So yeah, I don't know. I would like to try and go back and have a little play just to see, but I can see now, like after picking it up after the months we played it for, I stuck 170 hours into it.
Yeah.
We did give it a really good shagging, but like I say, now because of what we've done, I'm an absolute billionaire on there. I've got like a couple of mils sitting in my bank.
Yeah.
Tom Nook's fucking loving life. There's only so much you can do before it just becomes tut. So, I will probably jump back in and have a look. I sort of did a little bit every time there was a seasonal update, like last Halloween, Christmas. I popped in just to see what was new, and just all basic cosmetic stuff and that, a few little bits extra. But much like yourself, I don't really have the creativity side or the inclination really to really go, right, now I'm going to make... I did always say I was going to try and get a 5-star island. I got to 4 and I was like, I'm happy to be just under.
Yeah.
And every time I was like, just build more stuff. So I cluttered it and they're like, no, it's too cluttered. It's like, for fuck's sake. But like I say, if I do get suckered into this thing and then end up getting this new expansion pass and it comes free with the deal, because I don't think I'd spend £22 on it unless it was something really good. The other thing that excited me was there was like a boat trip thing that you could go to different islands, but again, it's more islands just mixed up with variety,
go
different
on the plane
seasons.
And do that, couldn't you? Have a wander around.
Exactly, yeah. It's not, if it was something going to an island that's completely different, full of different things that you wouldn't get, maybe I'd be more interested. But it just seems to sort of be a bit more. I don't normally say that quality of life improvements, like you say, like the shed. You can now like decorate the outside of your house to look a slightly different. It's small little updates that is good for thing, but is it enough to bring me back playing?
That's, I mean, what some people are saying is this is the main pull for the online expansion pack. I mean, Like this having this would make it worthwhile, because essentially £22.50 for this, or 35, and you get this included plus the other stuff. But again, it's like, are you actually going to play that other stuff? That's the real question. Well, there's no point spending the money on it. Obviously, they'll add to it, and we don't know whether this will be taken away if you've been that membership. What I'd love actually is if if you buy the online expansion pass or the expansion pack, so you get this included, you do it for a year. In a year, you bin it, and the game goes, right, you've not got access to this anymore. And then Tom Nook walks around your island, taking away all the items that are to do with that pass.
That would
be the best thing ever. And that would be worth just paying for 1 year to see that unfold. But I doubt that's going to happen. But
having a little thing, I've got a feeling there was a video. Yeah, there is. Hold on. I don't know if you can do this bit of technology live on air.
Go on. Probably not.
I think I've found a YouTube app. How do I send you a link in here? I've got a YouTube. Don't know how to send you a message. How do I send you a message? That one? Hold on. See if you can play that.
I can't move the windows, unfortunately.
Oh, doesn't matter. And it was a YouTube video for what happens to Animal Crossing happening if you unsubscribe, but I can't remember what the answer was.
Oh, right.
So there is a video that does it, but be interesting to see. I don't know. Anyway.
What do you think then? Expansion pack to get Happy Home Paradise, separate purchase, or neither?
I don't think it'll be a separate. I certainly wouldn't spend. What I've seen watching that, I watched that direct thing, and I wouldn't be buying that separately. That £22.
No, I don't think I would.
Wasn't enough for me. I'm in two minds about the expansion pass. I'll see how much, because I think I've got a good 6 months left. I think because I did do it a bit late. I left it for a little while, and then when Rise came out, March or February, and then I thought, oh shit, I'm going to need it for that. So I think I've still got a good 6 months ish on there, maybe less. But yeah, I'll see how much it is, and because I need to warrant this fucking OLED purchase, so I need to keep playing it. So that might be another excuse. But yeah, maybe for me. But what about yourself?
It's not this Happy Home Paradise is not getting bought separately. I might potentially upgrade because I don't know what the price is going to be, because they said it's going to be prorated, so I don't know, to the expansion pack. Although, to be honest, if I'm being like brutally honest with myself, if I'm not going to play Happy Home Paradise, there's no point in me doing it, because I won't play. There's none of those games on there yet that I want to play or be interested in going back to. And as I said, I've got access to most of the ones that I would potentially do. So I don't. Yes, it's kind of dependent on how it's going to work for my current membership, but at the moment it's probably a bit of a pass. So Nintendo not going to get any extra money. I say this, and then you'll see in 3 weeks I'll be like, I've got it, 3 years, stack the memberships up, I'm all paid up.
Back it down.
We'll see.
Get us back on you trampling over my island and ruin all my flowers.
Yeah, I am tempted to. The thing is, I'm tempted by the Animal Crossing, even the Happy Home Paradise piece as well, just to go back in and once and for all sort that fucking island out and do what I wanted to do with it.
Get that 5-star rating and then walk away.
Exactly, yeah.
Ta-ta.
So that is.
Seems like that's what they're doing.
Well, yeah, I might set myself that goal, and then that will feel like a worthwhile investment then. But we'll definitely see. Final piece. I wonder
if there's another one coming. That because of this,
maybe not anytime soon.
You think it's only not anytime soon, but it's only been a year and they're already shutting the door on big expansions.
Yeah.
So I wouldn't think maybe a 2023 or 24 release.
Suppose the trouble is with Animal Crossing is that it's sold an absolute fucking megaton. There was no monetization in it,
game,
so they'll put all that content out just for. Essentially, like off their own back. This is a way to make some more money, so maybe they will. Maybe someone's looked at the numbers and gone, "Don't do that for free anymore." Like, let's charge some money for that, because
that's true. Yeah, they did only say free DLC. True.
Yeah.
Let me just see where it is. Yeah, it's second. So So yeah, Mario Kart sitting at top at 37 million copies sold.
Yeah.
Animal Crossing sitting at 33.8.
I mean, they've made enough, to be fair, to warrant the free updates, but...
And that's 3 years. That Mario Kart Deluxe came out 2017. Animal Crossing came out last year.
Yeah.
So,
there you
it's
go.
their bread and butter.
FIFA and EA dispute. New report reckons FIFA want more than double from EA to renew the license. Over $1 billion for each 4-year World Cup cycle. Big money. FIFA has also said gaming must evolve more than one party controlling and exploiting all the rights. So I had a little look at this because this was sort of bubbling last week, but we don't talk about FIFA that often, even though probably more than half of the Dimp lot actually play it every year. So
True.
that definitely is a bit of a blind spot. We don't really chat about it too much. But I had a little look at it because initially when I first started seeing the rumblings of this, I was like, oh my goodness, if they lose the rights to FIFA, and they want to go out on their own, EA are playing a dangerous game. Now, my thoughts are somewhat nullified on that now because this is actually a squabble about the name of the game, calling it FIFA 2023 or whatever it might be, not the licensing use of the players, of the teams, of the leagues. So that's a separate license.
So that will still continue.
Yes. So they've renewed that. That's carrying on. That's with I think it's called Fifth Pro or something license, which gives them access to all that stuff. So not as big a deal because that's for me was you can't be getting rid of that. But to be honest, it makes the conversation a little bit more interesting because that was quite cut and dry. It was like without the license for the players' names and leagues, it's a far weaker product. This is now purely is the FIFA name just being stamped on the front of it worth it, or could EA potentially go off on their own, change the name, save $1 billion over 4 years, and still be happy and get the same sort of level of sales in? Now they've filed for EA Sports FC, which is obviously EA Sports Football Club. That is an awful name, if I'm honest. Of all the names they've come up with, that's a pretty poor one in my opinion.
eFootball's better than that.
eFootball, at least it's got the fucking sport in it. It's a bit of a shocker. So
it sounds like an Ultimate Team name.
Yeah, it does. It sounds like
your default team.
Yeah, it does. It honestly does. I don't know if that's a necessarily good thing. The question really about this is though, knowing that we're going to keep the licenses and all that good stuff, would the name change? It not being called FIFA, if it have any impact on sales or even its standing within the gaming community? Because whether people like it or not, especially now, it's number one for the football games, and it has been really for about a decade, if we're being quite honest.
Yeah, since 2006, I'd say. That's a real end of Pro Evo.
Yeah. What do you reckon then? Impact on these sales?
I think it would. I think just in terms of fucking kids going in the shop saying, I want the new FIFA, and they'll be like, there ain't no FIFA this year, mate. It's here. And they go, oh, I don't want that to start a new game. So just, I'm sure there'd be an impact of sales of just to the unknown.
Would it be
I'm
enough?
sure there. Yeah, would it be enough? I don't know. I suppose, like you say, it's such a
because they'll
big
go to the
game
counter
that...
and go, "Where's FIFA?" And then old game manager will go, "Oh, that doesn't." Sorry, I'll explain it to him.
Yeah,
this is it, and they'll be like, "Oh, okay then."
So yeah, I mean, it would be such huge news that everyone would know about it. I suppose.
Probably that as well.
Probably would, but I suppose it seems weird. I don't know. There's rumours of it going free to play. I bet that's been binned now after eFootball's response.
Well, I mean, this is the thing, isn't it? If they're going to do something like this, the timing of it, sort of now is really good because PES is dead. They killed that themselves, Konami. They said we ain't naming it that anymore. Pro Evo gone. We've got this eFootball, a husk of a game, limping around our servers at the moment, trying to get us to download it for free. It's awful. It's one of the worst reviewed games in a long time. Certainly, I think it must be one of the worst reviewed games of the year. So, if you're going to do anything like this now, EA pretty much got the football pitch to themselves. They can almost do whatever they want. All you've got to do is just make sure you get that messaging right and say, look, this is the same, team, the same company. It's FIFA as you know it. It's just we're going in a new direction for our name of the game. And then after 2 years, people ain't gonna realise anyway, and they'll probably still call it FIFA.
I was gonna say, I suppose, because didn't UFC do a bit something like this? It went from EA Sports UFC.
Yeah, so EA Sports MMA, which wasn't sponsored by the UFC, and it had like, I think, Strikeforce and bits like that in it, but it obviously wasn't branded. And then you had THQ's UFC games. That all went down the drain. Then EA Sports partnered with UFC and got EA Sports UFC, so they sort of have that brand in there.
Yeah, I think the wrestling games as well. That was like SmackDown versus Raw, and it was all just SmackDown, and then funneled into 2K thing. So, yeah, I suppose they're big enough and ugly enough that they could do it and get away with it. I think something like Lappa says is right, that for fucking $1 billion for 4 years, pocket that money. EA Sports Ultimate Team, that's where your bread and butter is. Get that free to play. Bolt on the fucking career mode at 20 quid a pop. Like you say, I think you're right in that now's the best time in of any to do it, but I wouldn't be going for that fucking Football Club FC shit.
No, I can't have a better name than that, and I think you're away. Yeah. But I honestly think they'll get away with it. And even if, I don't know, even if eFootball paid $1 billion over 4 years just to get the name, I still don't think that would be enough. People would still work out that that's not the same game as what they've been playing for the last decade. Just as a side note, in the fiscal year of 2021, so that's March 2020 to April 2021, games publisher Electronic Arts generated approximately $1.62 billion of revenue from extra content sales for just Ultimate Team. So that's 1 year's worth, and they've paid off that if they wanted to. But if you can save money, then why not? It seems like a bit of a, the flex of the muscles here. They're like, well, we've already registered EA Sports FC. I mean, there might have been a few snickers in the FIFA office when they said that. But I think ultimately, if EA go down this road, they keep all the leagues and all the players and all that stuff, the product's going to be just as... People will find it. They'll find their fix. They're not going to suddenly go, I'll give this eFootball a try now, because knowing Konami, it'll still be in a wretched state. So as soon as they play it, they'll be like, good God, no wonder it's free.
Yeah. No, I think you're right.
That's my view anyway. Right, gaming hype list.
Oh.
Got to do a little... It's the last one of the year, so some say big pressure, some say feet up, because the hard work's been done. So we've got 13 games here, which leaves 7 remaining.
Get my little phone out so I can see it.
Yes, get that out. So there's a couple of... Before we start adding new bits and pieces in, I need to sort something out.
Right.
And this is... You've cost them, is what I'm going to narratively put this down as. Now, I was talking the other week about Forza Horizon 5... and it being just, expendable. It's a sports game, basically. And you sat there and nodded it off. And yet, I look at this list, and it's here at number 4.
Oh, rightly so.
And I can't have that. I can't have it. I can't have it above Breath of the Wild, and I can't have it above Halo now, because we've seen a bit more from that.
Chuckers.
So, my proposal is that
it drops a bit.
It drops 2 down. Those 2 come in. Halo gets a big promotion from 9 up into 5, maybe.
Right.
If I had my way, this would be at the bottom, but I'm trying to be diplomatic here and not burn bridges. So I feel like just chucking it down.
Chucking it down. So above Dying Light 2?
Above Dying Light 2, yes.
Right, yeah. Right.
So coming at numbers.
I'm happy to agree with that, because I have started seeing footage, and
it's the same game
I'm
again,
for
isn't
it. Yeah, I've got to say, I was expecting more in terms of new features and stuff. It does look more like a sort of reskin of 4. So yeah, I wasn't expecting one this year, to be honest. So but I agree. I think it could go down.
So the new order will be God of War Ragnarok, Forza Horizon Forbidden West, Elden Ring, Breath of the Wild 2 or whatever it's called, Halo Infinite, Forza, Dying Light 2, Final Fantasy 16, Starfield, Guardians of the Galaxy, Pokemon Legends, Arceus, Stalker 2, Dead Space Remake. So the only one I'd maybe look at is promoting Guardians, but that's round the corner, and I think we're still a bit unsure of that. Got half decent previews, but they weren't blowing people away.
Yeah.
But I've got a feeling it's going to be a game that I sort of look at and go, if I've got nothing else better to do, I'll play it.
Yeah.
Which is fine. It can sit there at sort of 10 or lower as we go through this list.
Yeah. We've got 7
We've got 7 slots, and what I've got here is 14 games, so half of them aren't going to make it. Let's start with the easy ones.
Yeah.
Bayonetta 3. Got a fucking release window. It's Back from the Dead.
Back from the Dead.
It never even made it onto the list originally because we were so disenfranchised by the lack of noise about it. This is its first time on there. I don't see a world where it doesn't make it on. The question is, where could it slot in? We don't have an exact release date, but we saw it's still alive. They say it's coming next year, and I know you've played 1 and 2 and enjoyed them.
Yeah, very much so. I'm a big fan of the Bayo series. I thought brilliant trailer. I thought it was gonna be a big fan of the Aris or Norris. And I wasn't expecting. I thought it was going to be a fucking Astral Chain. They made everyone believe it was going to be an Astral Chain sequel.
Yeah.
Alas, it was this Back from the Dead, new and breathing gameplay and everything. So yeah, release window. I think it'll get in. I can't remember what's on the list, but I'm happy to put it at 20 for now and see. Pop it in at 20 because it's still so far away, and I know that hype isn't too huge on your end.
No, I'm up for giving it more leeway. Like, I'll be surprised if it stays at 20. I think it could be. I mean, I just look at things like they are pretty good. A lot of that, like just things like Pokemon Legends Arceus. I want it on the list, but it's definitely, from what I've seen, dropped a little bit.
It's dropped a bit. Stalker 2.
I haven't seen.
I know you're more hyped for me. I've seen a lot of it. Does look good. Dead Space again is a risky one because there was a developer update where you saw a little bit of sort of alpha footage, but.
I might pop it in above Pokemon just for my own amusement.
Yeah.
Because I don't want it falling off the list. I don't think it deserves that.
Right. Now, go on then. Chuck him in at 11.
At number 11, yes. Aris installed.
Aris.
Saints Row reboot.
Cool.
Couple of minutes of gameplay come out the other day.
Yeah.
A week or so ago.
I've got a real preview hype on this. I've seen gameplay showed. It really has GTA 5 vibes. Sorry, not hypes. Vibes I'm getting from this. It's sort of. It certainly seems like a sort of a veer into a different style. It seems to still keep in core. Like, it feels like old Saints Row, like 2.
Yeah, before they started getting superpowers and flying into space and stuff.
Yeah.
Which people
1 and
loved.
2, I was going to say, I enjoyed them more than, like, 3 and 4 were fun.
Yeah.
Like you say, when they had the superpowers and they were a bit silly and didn't take themselves too seriously. But 1 and 2, sort of, when they first come out, I was like, cool, this could be if they got it right, it wasn't obviously anything like it, but it could have been a competitor to GTA. They obviously just decided to go differently with that.
Yeah.
This feels like it could, like, I'm sure the story isn't going to be as good as a GTA game, but certainly with the environments, it looks quite fun. They've got like car combat involved now, and got different groups and stuff, and it looks pretty. So yeah, I'm quite hyped. This could go quite high for me.
Would it go higher than anything else that's on there, or would it slot in it just at a 15?
What did we just put? Bayo.
It can't be better than Bayo, can it?
Nah, maybe it'll go. So Bayo didn't get over Guardians, did it?
No, it didn't.
Just under Bayo then maybe.
12.
I'm thinking I'm probably more hyped for it than Guardians, but I don't know. What were you getting from that trailer?
Yeah, it was just hard to tell, really. I'm not sure I overly trust them just yet.
Well, it's the same team that done that fucking Agents of Mayhem and that.
That's just that sort of stuff. Yeah, I think it being the top 10 would be a stain on us.
Really? Yeah.
Keep it out of there for now until we see a bit more. Until we see that fucking alpha footage like we did with Days Gone and then went, cool, that looks like shit. Then we can start really criticising it or praising it. Because that's got to be coming, I would imagine, at some point. Game Inform will get in there early with the exclusive access and then hopefully seeing that through. But I think that's fair because, I mean, Pokemon Legends is it just looks like arse. There's no other way to describe it. Like, that is a factor of that game. I know it shouldn't be. It should be about the gameplay, but you just think if it looks like arse, is it going to run like arse? Concerning that fucking Switch.
Open world binned as well.
Yeah, I'm not too concerned about that, but that's not quite the dream.
No.
Monster Hunter's quite good fun, the way it's kind of set up and segregated.
It feels like an open world.
Yeah, because as long as the places, the sort of the biomes are big enough, and got some diversity to them, I think they're away there. But if it's just like,
a couple of cuts, loading screens that go from one to the other, can deal with that.
Yeah. Kirby and the Forgotten Land, a bit of a shock that we're going to see a 3D Kirby game set in the fucking dregs of Earth, where it looks like everyone's been killed. So it could be, maybe it's linked into the Last of Us universe and the Druckmann's doing a crossover with Doug. But what say you?
So I'm quite hyped for this. It's a bit like Metroid. Kirby's another franchise I've never played a game, and I mean, this doesn't look like the sort of type. This is the first time they're going 3D, isn't it?
Yeah.
They normally do.
I'm going to say yes, and then someone can correct us.
Yeah, I'm not sure if I can't remember, but yeah, I've got to say from the trailers and stuff, it did tickle the bollocks. Again, it could go. I'm happy just to put these all on and then they start going down.
I'll drop in at 16, and then we can deal with it later on.
We'll see, because I liked what I saw, and it, if it is a first party thing, it's these 3D games that are on these Switches. Like Mario Odyssey was a great game, so it could have potential. Is it a big enough IP? And can they do enough to?
Could it be as good as Odyssey?
Stand out. Yeah, well, that'd be a toughie.
Ain't gonna be, is it? These two are interested because as and when we found out, there were Ardons being put into pants, and obviously it's been a little while since that happened. Had this been sooner, these definitely would have been somewhere in the upper echelons. But I'm wondering if they're even going to make it now. Insomniac Double Pack, they come as two separate entries, unfortunately. But Spider-Man 2, first of all.
See, now.
This could be a slow burning of ongoing hype. But we know 2023 is the earliest we're going to see it. And it's like, we haven't had... So here's my view, I'll just butt in like I always do.
Go on,
Is that initially, it needs to go on somewhere. And then some way. I would not put this in the top 10. What I'm trying to avoid now is getting screen games in the top 10. That's what in the back of my head. I'm trying to ban them if I can, but it's not always possible. And if they ain't got release dates,
just enough of
in-engine.
In-engine, then we have a Starfield, and we got Starfield sitting at 8.
Yeah, although that's coming next. Wow, it's coming next year. They reckon.
No, that's true.
But. So I was thinking, the way I've been kind of doing things like this, when we first find an announcement and it's really, we're like, core, then it goes on somewhere. But if at the next sort of chance, the next PlayStation type thing, it's not there and we don't hear about it for like 6 months, they drop off like the Hogwarts Legacy, like the Beyond Good and Evils, like the Hellblades of society that we've had on and binned off. They get punished and get taken off. So it's up to Jim to keep.
I think that's a good idea. Yeah, I think that's good. We might see, like you say, there could be. What's tomorrow? Is there anything on tomorrow? You said something about.
Well, Fable might be the one, so people might be sitting there going, "Why ain't Fable there?" And it's
just this thing just chucking it out, or is that?
It looked like it was like a tweet from Xbox Game Studios saying we've got something to show tomorrow and something to do with chickens, and then people going, "Cool, that's Fable," and I'm like, "Well,
right."
Could be a load of bollocks.
Okay, so I think that's fair. So we're probably gonna get something. Hopefully, maybe a sniff or we've got Game Awards coming up.
Yeah.
Early next year, you could January or February there might be another PlayStation state of play or something. So I think that's fair enough. Yeah, we'll stick it on, and if we don't get one in the next one, then
it gets
off it
punished
goes.
potentially.
Yeah, it gets punished. So yeah, and like you say, these games are our bread and butter. We love these bad boys. So cocks are hard.
Where's it going though?
Are they allowed in the top 10? Is the question. If they're 20.
Yeah, of course. I'm just using it as a rough guide, and you're right. We've only Starfield's a screen, so what's that doing in there really? And that's got a release date, but that could be a load of old bollocks. We all know the release dates don't mean nothing.
Yeah, for me, Spedden 2. I mean, it's up there very high, but because it is just a screen and thing, I'm thinking above Dying Light 2.
That's exactly what I was thinking.
Oh,
that's exactly what I had in my head. So that's interesting. In you go. And then
Wolverine again. Like the trouble is we've not seen anything, so I'm sure it's just going to be similar sort of thing.
Bloody knuckle. That's what you've seen.
Game. Well, he goes first person walking simulator.
No.
Go, fucking hell, Insomniac, what you playing at? Resistance, Back from the Dead.
We'd find out it's an E-rated game. Like, fucking hell! Green blood. Right. What's going on?
So even though I'm very hyped for it, but we've had Spider-Man, we know what we're getting.
It can't be above Speddings because it ain't coming before that.
Spedden. Could it be? I'd say just under Final Fantasy. What say you?
Yeah, I'm happy with that. Yep. Under Final Fantasy, which is pushing its luck these days, but it looks so good in that initial trailer that it's really clinging on, that fucker.
We haven't seen nothing.
No,
a whiff of it since. Was that last?
That was last year. I think it was at that PlayStation 5 Future Game Showcase thing they did. So it was a long time ago, but it looked the tits. Kotor Remake.
Now,
not a lot of baggage for a pair of us here, I don't think, because we ain't really got an affinity with the original. At least I haven't. No, but I'm interested to play it for sure. Yeah, try it.
Well, there's a Switch game coming next week or whenever it is. I think it is only it's a Switch exclusive. Well, it's not an exclusive because it's on other platforms already, but they're remastering it. So it just sounds like it's going to be a PC port, but it's not coming to anything else. It's literally just coming to the Switch. Yeah, apparently. I saw that. I have had desire to play the OG, but it's a difficult one because I think when I last played it, fucking was like you say, going back to these old boys, you really do go, cool. We have progressed for a reason.
Yeah.
So
absolutely.
With this, it could be another. A game where I go balls deep into this and forget the old tutor.
My view is that if you, I'll just go and play. I'm not going to go back and play KOTOR OG again. No. I'm just going to wait for the remake. I've had a go at KOTOR. I've done a few hours, but it was a bit late in the day, and I was like, I already know the thing as well. So I was like,
chuck it.
What are we doing
so
here?
Again, we got a screen for this as well, didn't we? Nothing.
Yeah.
No release date, no window. Did we get window?
Nah, nothing.
Nothing. So under Dead Space.
Yeah.
Or put it on there for now.
Kirby can have a kick down the fucking rankings, that's for sure.
Yeah.
Not complain about that. DokeV. So we saw this, I think, at the what was it called? Gamescom thingy jigs that were pumping off. I think it was Jeff Keighley's thing. This is the Korean, beautiful looking Pokemon type thingy where it looked just mad. It looked too good to be true. Yeah. It's one of those things I don't trust because I just can't see how it's going to look like this. But it's definitely on the radar now.
Them fucking Koreans know what they're doing.
Yeah.
With storytelling.
They've just done Squid Game and then they're pumping this out.
Oh, they've done best film. Was it last year?
Parasite. Yeah, when was that? Last year or the year before, wasn't it?
I remember now. Yeah, chuck that out and you go, cool. Look at that bad boy. Now they're chucking this.
Saw another gameplay footage of another Korean game that looked just phenomenal, and I was like, what is going on over? What's going in that water? What are they putting in it? Because they're producing these. I mean, none of them have released yet, so that's the real test. But if you want to make a good-looking trailer, they're fucking doing that, I'm just like, what is going on?
What are they doing over there? Kim Jun, that's the North, isn't it?
That's the
Well,
you don't like them.
the South ones are the real hard workers. But yes, I mean, it looks good. Suppose it could get on, can't it? Stick at the bottom for now. See how it goes. It could, but I mean,
survive there, will it?
Nah, I don't know if it's going to survive with what's coming up, but I'll just pop it on for now. But I don't think it's breaking into any of these.
Cool.
Goodbye. Think, do you?
Nah. Stray. No. Sorry.
Yeah.
Looks alright.
Another one.
I'll probably play that more than anything. I'll probably play that and not play 18 of
Game
these others.
Pass.
What's that? I think it's on PlayStation only to start with.
Oh, was it? Yeah. Oh, was it?
What about
Deathloop?
Aris Mark II? Project Eve.
Aris Mark? Oh, yes. Now, this does look fucking good. Yeah.
The way I'm looking at it is that Forspoken and Project Eve, not similar, but they're occupying a similar spot in my head that I can't be dealing with both of them. I'm not saying either or, but I am in the back of my head thinking I'm probably more excited for one of these than the other, and I can't work out which one it is.
Yeah. I'd probably say Project Eve I'm a bit more hyped for because it looked a bit more fun to play. Just like Forspoken being a first party PlayStation game, I think maybe it's got a bit of bollocks about it, but it sort of looks a bit of what we've already seen. It looks very Final Fantasy. It looks very
Square Enix as well.
Square Enix. Oh,
so it won't be. Yeah. It'll be coming to the others, I imagine. It's a bit like might be a Final Fantasy deal.
Got 1 year, bad boy.
Luminous people. They've done a Final Fantasy 15.
Oh yeah. So, should we go for one then?
Yeah, I'm more interested, I think, in Project Eve. Although the developer, I think it's called Shift Up. Again, never heard of them, so less trust. But maybe roll the dice with them.
Yeah, well, I thought it was a new Nier, to be honest, at first, but alas, it wasn't. It was a new project, and it looks very action-oriented, very Platinum-esque, very Nier type. It looked quite interesting, very cool setting, very Japanese anime, fast-paced, boom. So, pop it on. Where?
What about above Pokemon?
Again. Above Pokemon, yeah.
Drop it in there. That kills DokeV, so that had a good run. It didn't have a run at all, but that's what happens. And we're just saying, Forspoken, you're not quite there yet.
No, I'm not. It hasn't grabbed me by the bollocks from what I've seen. It's interesting.
Amy Hennig fuming, a big return to gaming.
Yeah, I forgot it's Hennig. And
to be honest, I said the quips and that stuff was the worst part of it, in my view. And that's when I was a bit like, oh, she's doing that. I was like, okay, maybe it's just a bad show. It could be just me. But
yeah.
Right, I've had a big DC fan fest, which I didn't know about, but apparently people were all itching their bollocks about. So, first of all, we saw Suicide Squad kill the Justice League, a story trailer. Still don't think we've seen any gameplay yet, have we?
It's just no gameplay, I was just thinking.
We have of Gotham Knights, though, which we'll speak about in a minute. But the question on this one up front is, they've both said 2022, based off this DC, what's it called? DC?
Fandom. Basically, yeah.
Is it one or the other again? Or do both sneak
on? I think it probably is. I just think I like the look of Suicide Squad. It seems so weird that off the back of the film they're sort of making this. It looks very much just another version of the Suicide Squad, and this will be now the third iteration of the Suicide Squad we've had. That awful first film, the brilliant second film, and now we're getting another iteration with these films.
This game.
You'll be sick to the back teeth of fucking Suicide Squad, but it does look very good. I did just think, we still haven't seen any gameplay. How's it going to work? What type of game is it? Is it going to be a co-op game because you're a squad?
Is it going to be like Guardians of the Galaxy where it's single player and you control your party members' abilities? What?
Very good.
Like Final Fantasy where you switch between your party? Who knows?
Kill the Justice League. It's the Rocksteady or
this is Rocksteady, yeah.
Oh, it is Rocksteady.
So this is the big cheeses that have the pedigree but have been quiet for fucking a decade.
Yeah.
back
I mean, it
longer.
does look really cool. Like the fact you saw the actual Justice League that you have actually got to fight them. So the concept's very good, but we don't know. All it says on here is an action adventure shooter.
The rumor was it could be something akin to the Division at some point, but I don't know. That's all just
Right.
well, I don't. It's not.
Yeah.
That's no
Well,
reason.
it sounds like that's the way it would be. That's all we've got. Action adventure shoot. Gears of War. Set in an open world based on Metropolis.
Yeah, we were messing around in Metropolis, not old shithouse.
Yeah. Gothenburg.
Gotham Bind. Maybe that'd be the final level.
So yeah. So I think it'd be too much to have both on. I'd
DC
say
Overload.
DC Overload. I say let's. I'm certainly more hyped for Gotham Knights. It looks fun. It's a very cool setting.
The pedigree
Very
of
cool story.
Rocksteady not holding any weight here. They're going to get
No,
dwarfed.
what? Who's doing? Is it these others? Gotham Knights.
It's those guys that done Origins, I think. WB.
How was it?
Games Montreal.
Yeah, WB Montreal. Oh yeah. So that could be touchy, but
we have seen bits of it.
Cool. Yeah, that's it. We've seen gameplay. Now we're getting more story. Court of Owls is fucking cool.
Yeah.
Story as well. Read the comics, so
Them
nipples
owls.
are hard for that. Yeah, planned for release in 2021.
Lies.
Oh yeah, of course, yeah, got announced for 2022. Coming to everything. So yeah, I'm very quite hyped for this. So yeah, I'd say out of the two, we'll go for this and stick it up your fucking. I mean, maybe under Stalker. Maybe I'd say, like not too high because of the pedigree. The WB, they did do the worst Batman game. So there's potential. It does look cool from what I've seen, but I don't want to get too suckered in. So
Kirby dropped.
Yeah. Who would be dropped?
Kirby.
Yeah.
Kirby.
Poor old Kirby had a good run, but
gone.
She might be back. We've got a couple coming off soon. We're by the end of the year.
Yeah, exactly. Plenty of time. Got two more on here. They're a bit wild cardy, especially this one.
Yeah.
The day before.
Cool.
MMO zombie based thing I've only just found out about in the last hour or so. Now, I don't trust what I've seen of this. It looks far too good to be true. You have a slightly different opinion. And there's a chance here. It just depends how you're feeling.
Yeah, I can't remember when it was announced. Let me have a look. It must be on it on Steam. Yeah, so I followed it. I think it was I might have even seen this on bloody Lad Bible or Gaming Bible when it first announced, and it said sort of the Vision mixed with Last of Us. I was like, cool, what's this? So I've been following it. So it was teaser. There we go. So February 2021, it was announced that this team had been working on it. They'd been dropping little sort of gameplay segments in, but 2 days ago we got the first official full-length trailer with gameplay. Well, I say that there was a gameplay trailer before, but this is their first one that's now confirmed to be coming to consoles as well. So Phil wants to get his mitts on it.
Yep.
And Jim, Phil and Jim have both gone core. Gives a bit of pie there. Day before, the trouble is it's a unknown studio and an unknown publisher.
Scary,
which is the thing. But the day before is an open world MMO survival set in a deadly post pocket. But yeah, it looks very good, very gorgeous looking game. Has elements of Last of Us in survival terms. Very Daisy-esque that you've got sort of inventory that you can change your clothes and looting system, crafting system. Like you say, it does sound too good to be true. It sounds like it could be the MMO that gets Adkins on board. That fetch quest simulators.
Well, if you've got to take on zombies whilst you get there, then
imagine
be that.
So who knows? We'll see. But certainly keeping an eye on it. Does it get on?
I mean, the way I'm looking at it is it can take Kotor Remake's lunch if you want to drop it on at 20.
I think so because I am very hyped for it. There are gameplay, I do implore you to go and watch some of the older videos just to get a bit more insight. But yeah, I'm quite hyped for this. So yeah, I'm happy for it to take KOTOR's.
It's stolen its lunch right at the death. Last one,
but
GTA Trilogy, the definitive edition. I mean, apparently I think it's the 30th anniversary is this, or 20th anniversary is this Friday. So rumour mill is we're going to see some more there, and it's coming this year, evidently. So there's not long left to start getting this out. There's been some rumours circulating about it, visual upgrades, and it'll feature GTA 5 style controls. I just don't be trusting them at the moment. I mean, it could all be egg on face potentially, but the fact that it is also coming to Mobile devices in the first half of 2022 suggests it can't be that big an upheaval. It can't be looking
remastered. Will feature GTA 5 style controls.
So it locks on properly.
High-res textures. The old achievement.
70 UK pounds being quoted by base as well. It could be unconfirmed, but
definitive edition.
I ain't sold. This. Not to sacrifice the day before, because that's essentially what you're doing at this stage.
Yeah, straight away. Yeah, I need to see more, and it seems so weird that there's nothing, and it's supposed to be coming out in the next 2 months.
It is strange. We'll leave it. Like I said,
leave it for now.
If something big happens in the meantime with something like Fable or even it, we will just bolt it on to the end of an episode. So I don't think the door's ever closed. Try and be a bit more fluid, because this year we've been right, we're only doing it 4 times, and that's your chance. Whereas I think we can be a bit more fluid if we manage our time better and don't fucking babble shit too much. But that's a big ask. Here is the rundown before we lock it in. I hear a lot of coring, which is concerning. But
hold on. Yeah, coring was. I just saw the stats of the PC recommended specs for the 3 games combined already. 5 gig, and then this remastered 45 gig. Sorry, that's what I was coring.
Big old boy.
Oh boy, continue. Right, hold on, actually don't continue, because I swear I wrote this down. List. What's that? Here it is. It's got the fucking full list on it. Right, I'm going to type it into my PC. Right, go for it.
So, number 1 still, and I don't think it's ever been knocked off top, God of War Ragnarok.
No.
Number 2, Horizon Forbidden West.
Yeah.
Number 3, Elden Ring.
Oh, the Elden.
Number 4, Breath of the Wild 2, or whatever that's going to be bloody called. Number 5, Halo Infinite jumps up the leaderboard in this last 2021 edition, thanks to in-flight tests. Still no campaign. Forza Horizon 5 comes in at number 6. Number 7, Spider-Man 2. Number 8, Dying Light 2, the Two Brothers. Number 9, Final Fantasy 16. Number 10, Wolverine. Number 11, Starfield. Number 12, Guardians of the Galaxy. Number 13, Bayonetta 3. Number 14, Saints Row. Number 15, Project Eve. Number 16, Pokemon Legends Arceus. 17 is Stalker 2. 18 is Gotham Knights. 19 is the Dead Space remake. And 20 is The Day Before, from the unknown boys and girls, wherever they may be. So that's how the list is going to stay, unless we hear something in the next couple of weeks for a few individual games. But other than that, we'll be revisiting it in 2022 with Game Awards knowledge and a few releases that have come out as well to free up a couple of spaces for us.
Yeah. I'm just writing this. Let me just double check I've got this right.
Yeah.
17, I think it's right. 18, 19, 20. So I've got God, Horizon, Elden, Breath, Halo, Forza, Spider-Man, Dying Light, Final Fantasy, Wolverine. What was that?
Starfield.
What's after Wolverine?
Starfield.
Oh, That's what I'm trying to write. Starfield, Guardians, Bayo, Saints Row, Project Eve, Pokemon, Stalker, Gotham, Dead Space, Day Before.
Done.
Lovely, updated.
Locked in for a little while.
There we go.
Wow.
So there, yeah. That's it for 2021.
Well, I'm tempted to not put Fable on if it's missed the boat and just we'll see how we feel in January. 'Cause it's not long away.
No.
We'll see.
We'll
see what we see. But that's it. That's the gaming hype list done for this year. I'm going to change the name of it next year as well, so get prepared for that. We love to rebrand everything here every year or so, just to keep people on their toes. Annoys everyone else, but keeps Ronnie happy, so we have to do it. But I think that's it for this episode. We'll shut it down and be back next week. Logan's in the chat now. He's on the hook to bring some hands-on impressions of Battlefield and Halo, and the Assassin's Creed Valhalla latest DLC. So now that he's popped his head up here, that's reminded me to get that booked in. Adkins has got a few games of impressions to do. I've got a few games of impressions to do. I've got more than a few, in fact. I've got fucking about 5 of the cunts. So it's all kicking off and popping off. And then we've got Ogsworth Dave Salmon, who needs to come on and explain himself. Some of his views, controversial in the Dimp ranks. But nothing more for us to say here, though, other than thanks for your time and ta-da.
This was a Dimp Digital production.